What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. Here inside the Temple of Gains, we're in denim because we have a very serious video. The biggest problem in the fitness industry currently, and it's not what you think. It's not the rampant misinformation. That is certainly a big problem. But once you're past the beginner phase, you could correctly identify the bullshit. Oh, you're trying to show me that? I don't think so, Liver King.
I've always told the truth, I still tell the truth.
What I'm talking about is far more insidious. It is how the fitness industry slowly but surely convinces you that you are incomplete. In fact, that your physique is utterly worthless, and you'll never be good enough. As the great fitness philosopher Dom Mazzetti once said,
the day you started lifting is the day you became forever small.
It basically creates a problem you didn't know that you had, and then you could never solve it. Let's get into this, what this problem is, and how hopefully we can try and solve it. In order to do this, we have to talk about the illusion of perfection. You see, for most people, their fitness journey starts off innocently enough. They identify a problem within themselves. Oh, I don't look the way that I want to look. I don't feel confident. So if I lose 10 pounds, I'll feel better, I'll be more confident, I'll attract more people, so on and so forth, okay? So between where they are and where they want to be, there's this gap. And this is where the illusion of perfection comes in, because it's a fantasy. You have a desire, and you've played out this fantasy in your head of what's going to transpire once you get this goal. You will be made whole because you feel you have a problem.
But remember, you gotta go out there and work hard, stay focused and get that payoff. Might not be 6 fly ladies in a jacuzzi, but it'll be something.
You go ahead and try and lose the 10 pounds. And guess what? You do. I'm proud of you, man. But now you take a look at your physique, and are you made whole? Do you feel better about yourself? No.
I remember I used to daydream about having more muscle and having a defined six-pack, and that I would be happy and content once I got it. Now I can finally say that I have achieved my childhood dream physique. And the thing is that I don't really feel much happier.
You feel okay, but you feel like you have another problem. Ah, shucks, it wasn't 10 pounds I needed to lose, it was 20 pounds. You just didn't have the right goal. And once you have the right goal, you will be made whole. You'll focus more and more on trivial details until you're lost in the minutiae.
Am I happy with my physique? No. And the sad truth is I was probably happier with it whenever I looked like this. Now that I actually work in the fitness industry, I'm hyper aware of the way that I look, honestly to an unhealthy level. Like, I do think I look pretty good in this video, but one of the first things I'm drawn to is how deep my sternum is. It's something I literally can't change, but it makes it incredibly hard for my center and upper chest to fill out, and it makes my stomach jut out excessively whenever I'm not flexing. I also have crazy long triceps, and so from the front my arms look incredibly skinny when compared to the side. In reality, these examples shouldn't matter.
That is the illusion of perfection. You will never attain it, but you're always chasing it. And that is why we encounter the bodybuilding paradox, right?
Here we have the world's largest bodybuilder who's still afraid that people are gonna think he's small.
Kept on putting on even more and more and more, and I was just like, wow, I'm really blowing up. My heaviest ever was 350. You just keep on getting bigger until you are the biggest, and even when you're the biggest, you still want to get bigger.
So you see some of these bodybuilders that have fantastic physiques, but inside they're racked with self-doubt, with feelings of insecurity, of a lack of self-worth, and so on and so forth.
Some days I feel skinny, I feel small, I don't have a pump, I need to start my workout with a hoodie.
People erroneously assume that bodybuilders come into the game with large self-image issues. Oh, they did that, they want to get that big because they weren't confident in themselves, they didn't like the way they were. And that is simply not the case, or not the complete picture. And I'll use myself now as a proxy of understanding, as a window, as an avatar for a lot of people to understand their own journeys. Because probably like a lot of people growing up, I didn't have any body image issues. I was very confident in my own skin. I'd take my shirt off when I'm playing soccer, so on and so forth. I actually started lifting because my ass got dusted in a sprint competition against my boy Suvi back in high school, and I didn't have that vigor, vitality I used to feel when I played sports. I thought to myself, shit, I want to prove myself. I'm a university. What is a structured way I could do these things? So I began lifting, and it felt great. I was hitting PRs and all those sorts of things. However, I entered the industry. I started working as a trainer. I started being around people that were hyper judgmental about themselves, about their own physiques. They would cover up their stomachs and they'd say like, oh bro, I'm so flabby right now. And they would need the top-down lighting. They'd take photos, but only in a particular way. They start angling, they gotta look away. When they have to take photos with other people, everyone would be trying to out-angle one another. And subconsciously, all these things register within you. And so reached a point after several years, I wasn't even aware of this, but I was hyperfixating on my own physique. Not in a way of genuine self-improvement, but what's wrong with me. trying to identify problems that once again didn't exist. And so slowly, and like I said, insidiously, it happened to me. And it took years and years of figuring this out, getting over it, and it's now been well over a decade since that occurred, for me to properly identify this problem. But I see within the industry right now, think about the face filters that people have. Think about the photos that they post on Instagram. They have to be a very particular way. The top-down lighting, the angle, they know the angle in the gym, they need to take it, and that zenith, the picture of their physique at the peak, is the only one they're satisfied with. Anything else is simply not up to snuff. It's not how they see themselves. And this is the problem, the illusion of perfection, is that as you become so focused on your body as part of your self-worth, when that doesn't live up to your expectation, it could tumble the entirety of how you perceive yourself. And this is where all these confidence issues come from, because people are trying to chase that illusion of a physique that they don't have, or a physique that they can't have, and they're permanently dissatisfied. But let's identify some of these core issues. The first one would be that we exist in a dysfunctional ecosystem, so place that rewards these behaviors. Let me describe this. So we exist right now on social media. Think about the face filters, the body filters, the angles, the lighting, the things that you can manipulate to put forth a certain illusion of who you are. It's not actually who you are, it's who you want to be. So the images that you post, they're a carefully curated selection of photos and videos of yourself that you're trying to show to the world, this is me. But that's not you. You don't look like that 99.9% of the time. And the people you're trying to look like don't look like that 99.9% of the time. But when I talk about this ecosystem being dysfunctional, let's talk about the insecure bros that constantly project via negativity. Genuine constructive criticism will look like this. You're doing well, man. I see your transformation. Keep it up. You need to be a little bit leaner for your goals, so I'd recommend A, B, C. Also, maybe your shoulders you need to bring up. I'd recommend these exercises. That's an example of constructive criticism. Instead, what you'll find on social media, you look like shit, you should kill yourself. And I wish I was exaggerating, but that isn't far from the truth. And then the second problem that we have too is that people are allowing other people to determine their self-worth. And we could talk about bodybuilders, and I think this will really frame it. And I have a lot of sympathy for bodybuilders because they're very vulnerable. So they step on stage, they're being compared to other people, and these judges are scrutinizing them to very minute details once again. And their self-worth is determined based upon the placing that they have. It's not in regards to how they feel about themselves. Do you feel like you got a lot of muscle? Yeah, I do. Do you feel like you're lean? Yeah. But I'm not the best, I didn't place the way that I wanted, so on and so forth. So they've completely given up all that power to an outside force. And this is an example of what happens on social media by and large, because you tend to focus on other individuals, what they say about you, not what you say about yourself. Humans are social creatures, so we depend and value the opinion of others, but when we depend too much so on that, that's when it becomes dangerous.
It's super important that I put more of the emphasis on the process and not so much the destination or the shows or even the result of the shows as far as the placings or even how I stack up to the competition.
So what can we do about all this? Is it hopeless? Are we doomed to this fate of chasing a goal we can never achieve? No, do not despair, my friend. In fact, I'm gonna offer what I regard to be some effective solutions. Understand this is a very complex issue that one needs to spend time working on themselves. So let me give you 5 steps or 5 ideas towards improving your relationship with yourself, your body, and so on and so forth. The first would be adopting more of a mindset of stoicism. So here's what I mean. If someone gives you a compliment, you're not like a dog where suddenly, oh my God, my self-worth, this is what I needed.
Feed me and tell me I'm pretty!
That dopamine drip of approval. So you regard it, it passes through you. It's okay. It doesn't really matter much. It doesn't really mean much.
You're pretty? That's not going to work anymore! But thank you then.
In the same way, if someone talks shit about you, you don't think to yourself, oh man, I feel terrible about myself. Neither outcome affects you. Launching off of that, step number 2 will be understanding that confidence gives you confidence. So this is why you want to have neat practical goals that are achievable in a stepwise way. So if you think to yourself from the outset, I want to look like Frank Zane, well guess what, you're natural, it's probably not going to happen. That is too large of a goal. Instead, for most people, if they frame it around performance, such as the reps in the gym, the sets that you do, the weight that's being lifted, so on and so forth, and then from a dietary approach, you can do something similar. In that way, the concrete, more performance-oriented goals will give you a sense of confidence. Shit, I can do this. Point number 3, I would say, you need to tether all this to some aspect of reality. The opinions of others will matter no matter what, no matter how we shake it, but you can choose whose opinions you listen to. You shouldn't fill the room with sycophants, so people that'll just boost you up. This is where a coach can be invaluable. They can hold you accountable towards your goals, and they can make sure you're tethered to some aspect of reality, but also peers. So people that once again are genuinely in your corner. They could give you constructive criticism, the things you need to hear, not only the things that you want to hear, but the rabble, the outside, the masses, or random comments on your social media, that doesn't matter. And this is what I mean when I talk about calibration. The calibration of how you regard yourself. This is point number 4. You must get comfortable with yourself at all aspects, in all times. When you wake up in the morning and you're bloated or you don't feel good, you're deflated, the lighting's bad, so on and so forth, you don't have a pump, and you look at yourself in the mirror, you think, I don't like the way I look. You need to get over that. You need to work on that. Only you can do that, right? We're talking about people that have a healthy body fat range, they just don't like the way that they look. And if that's your main or primary vehicle in terms of improvement, you hating yourself, that's not gonna last a long period of time. And guess what? It's only gonna get worse. It's okay to want to have more. It's okay to want to be leaner. But where you are currently, I think you should be okay with. You certainly shouldn't be disgusted when you look at yourself in the mirror. And then point number 5, frame your goals. What does this all mean in the end? I said that before. People don't want the physique in and of itself. It's what the physique buys them. So why are you really doing this?
Why do you work out?
I wanted to like prove to myself that I can put in work and I can get something out of it.
I mean, I used to skate for a little bit and I kind of got older, so I found a way to stay fit.
It helps with my mental health. It's where I come to let off all the stress from the day, and it makes me feel better about myself.
Your goals will evolve over time like any other thing, but trying to chase something that you'll never achieve by simply adding more slabs of muscle to your physique is not it at all. So these 5 points I think are critical for understanding yourself and choosing how you define yourself ultimately and where you determine your self-worth. And I can say this as a side note at the end right now, that for myself, my own personal journey, after I spent some time working on myself, like I said, a lot of that stuff ended around 2012. There's a reason why I improved my physique dramatically in 2012, 2013, because I was yo-yo dieting from like 2010, 11, 12, really not making as much gains as I could have. But fast forward to 2019, and where I got my leanest and arguably my most aesthetic was also my easiest, because I'd worked on all these things that I just described. I had the right motivations and reasons for doing it. I chose a methodology that was achievable. My sense of confidence and my efficacy in order to do these things was there. I achieved the goal, felt good about it, and then I maintained that level of leanness without really thinking about it. So in a very real way, working on all of these things can directly improve your goal in the first place. And it's kind of weird how that works, right? But understand in all seriousness that you are worth it and that your opinions in fact do matter about yourself, and then ultimately defining yourself you will find to be empowering. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video.
Oh my God. Wait, jorts? You can't actually lift in those jeans.
Actually, you can, my guy.
But are they comfortable?
No question. I sleep in mine.
Try the all-new Rascal jorts. Perfect for heavy lifting. Perfect for toning. Perfect for if you hate yourself and want to briefly escape the painful existence of reality.
Anything and everything.
Wrapped up together? Come on now.
Right up. Peace. 5 Gs. We out.